What's up, Dragon Brood? So today, okay, I'm not even gonna front. Like, I know a bunch of y'all hate Mono Red. I know a bunch of you really like Mono Red. And y'all are wondering, hey, am I still gonna be able to play Mono Red in Zendikar Rising? The answer is yes. Yes, you will. If you don't like Mono Red, well, that's unfortunate because there's still gonna be some Mono Red decks. And if you do like Mono Red, congratulations, there's still gonna be Mono Red decks. The cool part is I think there's going to be some of different sizes, so you might be able to play really small red, you may be able to play really big red. But for now, we're going to look at the lower end, low to the ground, do a lot of damage quickly style mono red decks. And I got some red mood lighting to fit the occasion. Before we look at the deck though, you'll know I'm going to ask you, please like this video to help us get in front of more people. Then hit the subscribe button just so I know you appreciate me putting together all of these deck lists, because we're putting them out multiple times a day, every day, leading up to the Zendikar release. And then hit that notification bell, which is important because that lets you know every time I have a video up. So even if it's not a deck video, you just get my regular day-to-day content that hopefully you'll take something away from and maybe be a little better at Magic. Hopefully better than I am at speaking right now. This is what happens when you do a lot of videos in a row. But let's go take a look at this mono red list. Alright, now looking at this list, the only thing I would say that's going to stand out is that it's not playing Torbran. But we're going even lower to the ground and trying a couple other new things, and we're just going to see how they work out. Because again, everybody, we are experimenting. This is what you do in the beginning of a set coming out. Yes, some people are saying, but I want to get the perfect list so I can know exactly the resources I need to use. But the truth is, we don't know. I would love to give you an exact list for every single deck I'm putting up, but I'm going to be honest with you. Every list I'm building will change over the course of the first week for two reasons. One, we'll learn how the interactions of the cards work better, but two, the rest of the format's going to start developing around us, and that's going to dictate some of the cards are worth playing or not. So we don't really know up front. I know a pretty good shot that when we put the list together, probably 80% of the cards are going to stay. But there may be, plus or minus one card here, plus or minus one card there that's going to change. So just want to throw that out there. But let's get into this list. So we are going to play for Akum Hellhound. This is one of the best new cards for the deck. I will say we're not playing all that many lands, so there's a good chance we don't trigger it on some turns. But that's not any worse than some of the bad 1-mana 1/1s that Mono Red's played in the past. And if you do hit your land drops for the first 3 or 4 turns, this stands to be a pretty difficult card to deal with among everything else happening in the deck. We're playing 4 shocks. You shouldn't be surprised by that. Instant speed, 2 damage. We got to play it. We're playing 4 Fervent Champions. And this is the only card I actually, believe it or not, I hesitated on if I wanted to play this. However, as you'll see, because I snuck a couple of different equipment into the list, that made it a little nicer to be able to play the Fervent Champ, and they do still pump each other, and if you get 2 or 3 early, we know that can be devastating. We've seen that for months now, and we do have a couple other knights in the list, so it's not completely bad that we'll never get to use the ability. It'll come up sometimes, but it's still one of the better 1-mana things you can play in mono red. Now this other card I do really like, the Fireblade Charger. It can have haste if it's equipped, but when it dies, it also deals damage equal to its power. And because we're playing a few different equipment, it gives you a shot to get some extra damage in there, which is pretty nice. Or if you play it with the Rimrock Knight, you can get in there, maybe kill something larger that blocks it, and then when it dies, you either get to kill something else or still hit the opponent. Very good things you could do with this. They're going to catch some people off guard, I'm pretty sure. Then we're playing Kargan Intimidator. It's a 3/1 for 2. It also has the ability to trample, make something unblockable, almost, give itself +1/+1, or some other warrior, but I don't think we're playing any other warriors in this list. So it's just a good attacker, really, more often than not, is what we're going to be looking at. Playing 3 Rimrock Knights, because you need another way to just pump some of these smaller creatures and push them through, and getting another 3 power attacker is also very nice. Playing Royal Eruption. 2 mana, deal 3 to target, actually just to a target, not even a creature, but you can kick it to deal 5 damage in total. So it does give you more options, and what I like about it is it can go to the dome of the opponent. So if there's no planeswalkers you want to kill, and you think you can handle the creatures that are there, or if you just need a top deck for 5 damage, this is a thing you can draw, and it kind of adds some excitement to the red decks to do something they haven't been able to do much of recently. Now, we did talk about equipment in here, so I snuck a couple of Scavenge Blade ins, and truthfully, I may end up with a third one in this list as well, but it's 2 mana and gives a creature +2 power, and it comes in equipped to a thing. So it's basically like an aura right when you play it, then after that, you have the option of moving it. But remember, if you put it on something like the Fireblade Charger, then it's going to also deal extra damage when it dies. You put it on the Fervent Champ, it has first strike, and now is even harder to block. Put it on something like the Kargan Intimidator, it can trample over something. So there's a few different things this allows you to do. Even with an axe, who's over here hanging out at the top in the next row, you get your creature big enough that you get 2 counters when it dies now, right? So it's actually a pretty good card all around, and you can just keep moving it, put it on the next thing, put it on the next thing, and getting 5 power creatures to fight with amongst all the other damage you're doing could be pretty devastating. We're playing 3 in axe. I'm sure some people would probably play 4. It's legendary, so you don't want to get caught with them, though I know if you play it, you get more counters if you have 2 of them because 1 dies. Like, I get it. But I prefer to try and test the other new cards, and if something doesn't work out, then we'll pull it and put the 4th and axe back in. Playing 1 Subira, I had this in one of my Mono Red deck list I think I put up, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't really have that many opportunities to use it. In this particular deck, you do have a few things that could be unblockable potentially. So here's something interesting. When you read Subera, it's a 3 mana 2/3, has haste, which we like. You can pay 1, and another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. And then you can pay 2 and tap it, discard your hand, and then until end of turn, every time a creature 2 or less damages the opponent, you get to, or damages a player, you get to draw a card. Now, an interesting thing here is that you can actually make something unblockable, say a Fervent Champ or a Fireblade Charger, then put equipment on it. So then you could damage the opponent and still get through for big damage. Now, you wouldn't necessarily trigger the second half of the ability because the creature would now be bigger than 2 power, but it's just something I'm pointing out that you can make something unblockable, then make it bigger, and still get it through. So just something to think about in the way the cards work. Then we're playing 3 Bonecrusher Giant, mostly because I still wanted just a little more damage. And now this gives us the option of 3 Bonecrusher Giant, 4 Shock, 4 Royal Eruptions that can all go at the opponent's face or at a creature or at a Planeswalker, right? So we're playing the most flexible removal we can play, and that's going to help out a lot, helping manage the board state while we're kind of maneuvering all these small creatures around. And then finally, we're playing 3 Embercleave because, well, it's Embercleave. Land-wise, simplest land base we put together so far. It's just 4 Castle Embrus, 17 mountains. Not a lot to talk about. It's mono red, keeping it simple. Honestly, I'd probably like to get down to 20 lands. I'm not sure we can, with the Anax and the Bonecrusher Giants, but if we could, I would cut a mountain and probably play an additional Scavenge Blade. So that's something to think about. If you end up keep drawing land with this list and you're getting land flooded, consider swapping one out for another Scavenge Blade and just see what happens. Especially since the way Arena works with the whole, dual hand when you're playing best of one sort of thing, you might be able to get away with it anyway. Yeah, so that's mono red. I think it's still a thing, y'all. Is this the best version? I don't know, but I think it has potential to be very good. And the biggest thing about it that I really, really like is it has very flexible removal. Nothing has to just hit creatures or just hit planeswalkers or just hit your opponent. Like, you can use it as you need it when you need to use it. And that's what's really important. So I think that's going to help the deck be very good. I also think the addition of the Scavenge Blades could really add something to this list and really make those early creatures that much harder to deal with. Imagine even putting that on something like an Akum Hound and then being able to attack for 4+ damage could be very good. So lots of things going on with this list that I like. It'd be interesting to see how it holds up or what decks people try to build that could make it difficult, because right now we have no idea. Also, don't forget next Wednesday, or no, not Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. I don't know, what's the calendar say? What is that, the 15th? I don't know, like COVID times. 16th, there we go. Wednesday the 16th, we'll be doing the streamer early access event. And I'm going to be trying to get on the majority of the day. I'll probably take like 2 hours off to record my podcast. But most of the day, if you want to stop by and check me out, you can just rewind to the beginning of the video because I put it in the title bar every video, my link. But I also have it down in the description below where you'll also be able to find this deck list. And if you want to just come hang out in our Discord chat and get help with deck lists as the set comes out and you don't know what you want to build, you can come do that. Or just come chit chat around. You're welcome in the Discord. It's free access. Just come be a fan and have fun. Also, we have a new merch store. So the link's going to be down in the description as well. If you'd like to buy something and support the channel, help me out. Whether you want a mug or a t-shirt or a mouse pad, like there are things to be gotten, purchased. Help me out. If you hadn't, please remember to like this video to get it in front of more people. Hit that subscribe button to help me out and show me how much you love me and my idiocy that I put up on this channel. And then hit the notification bell because that's truly for you to remind you every single time I have a video go up and you don't miss out. Because there's going to be a ton of content as we cross over into the release of Zendikar. It's going to be a lot to talk about. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.